You know, sometimes there are these moments that just completely shatter a place's sense of peace. And that's exactly what we're talking about today. We're going to look at how, in just a few short days, a peaceful little college town was thrown into total, absolute terror.
Wow, that sentence, it just captures the whole thing perfectly, doesn't it? Students felt safe until they didn't. It's such a chilling hook because, it gets at a fear we all have, right? That sudden, horrifying moment when you realize the place you thought was safe just isn't.
So let's paint a picture here. It's Gainesville, Florida, October 1990. Think of your classic college town, home to the University of Florida. The streets are pretty quiet, students are just worried about classes, and there's this real feeling of safety, of community. Just a normal, peaceful place. But yeah, that was all about to get torn apart.
All right, so let's get into it. 4 days of terror. This is really the heart of the story. In just 4 days, that's it. The whole vibe of the city was just poisoned by fear. It became something completely unrecognizable. 5. Right now, it's just a number. But that number, it represents the sheer scale of the horror that was about to hit this town. 5 people, 5 lives, just gone in a single brutal spree.
And these weren't random people, These were 5 University of Florida students. And they weren't attacked on some dark street corner. They were murdered inside their own apartments, the one place in the world you're supposed to be safe. What really fueled the panic was just how fast it all happened. This wasn't, a few incidents spread out over months. No, this was a relentless wave of terror that hit over just 4 days. It gave no one time to even process what was going on, let alone feel safe. And when you look at the details from the crime scenes, they're just bone-chilling. The police found no signs of a break-in, no forced entry. There were 0 witnesses. And this is the most disturbing part. The killer posed the bodies. He left them on display. So you know right away, this wasn't some robbery that went bad. This was a performance. Just pure horror. So, as you can imagine, the impact was immediate. The city literally transformed overnight. It went from this quiet, normal college town to basically a ghost town. That feeling of safety? Poof, gone. Replaced by this deep, all-consuming panic that just touched everyone. And people reacted fast. The universities straight out canceled classes. Students were terrified, they packed their bags and just fled. We're talking thousands of them. You had parents all over the country just frantically calling, begging their kids to come home. The city just emptied out. So now you've got a city that is totally paralyzed by fear. You have this phantom killer on the loose. And there's really only one question on everybody's mind. Who was this monster? Who was this person the media started calling the Gainesville Ripper? Well, as the investigation ramped up, the police started to close in. This desperate, citywide search for answers, it eventually led them to one single person, and they could finally put a name and a face to all this horror. His name was Danny Rolling. And when you look at who he was a drifter, no real connections anywhere. He was a convicted felon, already had a history of violence, and at the end of the day, he was a confessed serial killer. But the big question is always why? Why do something like this? And in his own words, his own confession, Roland revealed a motive that's just chilling. It wasn't about money. It wasn't about revenge. He said, "I killed to feel powerful, to feel alive." It was about getting a horrific thrill at the expense of other people. That's a terrifying look inside the mind of a predator. So the legal side of things wrapped up in 1994. After he confessed to everything, Danny Rolling went to trial, was convicted, and was sentenced to death. And that, right there, brought the official hunt for the Gainesville Ripper to a close. But, even with the killer caught and sentenced, the story doesn't just end there. Not really. Because the psychological damage, that long shadow cast by those 4 days, well, that would stick around for a long time. Because here's the thing. You can catch a killer, but you can't just erase the trauma. Even today, if you talk to people who lived in Gainesville during that time, they'll tell you it changed them, that the fear never fully left. It was like a scar was left on the whole community. And when you really boil it all down, what was the scariest part? It wasn't just the violence, as horrific as that was. It was the randomness of it all. The fact that for 4 straight days, an entire city was held hostage by the unknown. And every single person was left with that one terrifying question. Am I next?